So we have the way of Cain, we have the way of Abel. And take note in your notes that Abel is spelled Abel, not the right way. So thus I could not find it in my Bible search. I had 500 verses coming up on being able to do stuff. And I'm like, what is going on here? I know the verses in there. I know his blood speaks better things than that of Abel, right? So anyhow, so there's my typo in that. Yes. So the way of Cain and the way of Abel. So let's look at this real quick. And what is the story of Cain and Abel? We went there last week, but we're going to unpack some of that more. They both offer sacrifices. And here's that thing. There's that eternal recognition of God. All creation knows that there's a God. He just refuses to worship him as God, as Romans 1 tells us. Atheists are not born. They're made through higher levels of intellectualism, and it becomes their God. That's never a natural inclination to any human society. So all human societies have a God, and they have a God they try to appease because they know that they have to appease God. So did Cain and Abel. Cain did not like Abel's sacrifice, so he kills him, his brother. These two streams of life emerge. They've always been there, but now they're more prevalent. Let's look at it like that. So Cain also was the creator of the civilization, by the way, before the flood. Abel's dead. So who is the creator of civilization? And this is my answer to why total depravity came in through one man's sin, but then it spread to all men. Abel was offering righteous things to God, acceptable in God's sight. He's murdered and snuffed out. His seed will never propagate the earth. So whose seed propagates the earth? Cain's. And who is Cain? A murderer. Therefore, his depravity spreads like wildfire everywhere it goes. Look at, is that the one slide? Is there one before that? Did I jump? Okay, there's a verse here on here. I want to read that in 1 John 3:12. Yeah, let's look at that one. I didn't read it. We should not be like Cain, who was of the evil one and murdered his brother. And why did he murder him? Because his own deeds were evil and his brother's were righteous. Why was Abel's deeds righteous? Not because Abel was righteous. His deeds were righteous because he knew that the only way to approach God was through an acceptable sacrifice of blood. He was following the pattern that God set for Adam and Eve. And he was doing what he needed to do. He can't create life. He can only offer life. Cain worked and planted and harvested. And this was all the product of his 10 fingers and sweat of his brow. And he, in all of his excitement to offer God what he's done, because it's all about him, he comes in and offers it, and they both make offerings, and they see that it's not accepted. But in Cain, he is of the evil one. Why is he of the evil one? He's of the evil one. Actually, the word evil one, too. I think I put it in your notes. What it means. Because it's really good to look at. Where did I put it? No. It's okay. I guess I have it in mind. Well, the literal Greek, or the literal Hebrew of the word of the evil in the Greek here in John, it means to be drew of his nature. He drew his nature from the evil one. Okay, isn't that cool? So, yeah, when it says, and why did he murder? Because his deeds were evil, and who was of the evil one? The Greek literally is because he drew his nature from the evil one. Our nature is corrupt. Thoroughly, really. What is beautiful is, I want you to see this because I'm trying to articulate a huge thought in the two ways in human history with Cain and Abel. Notice Abel's off the scene, right? He dies. He's dead. But the way of Abel, and we'll get into that, is what flows through all the way. It's not with hands and it's not flesh, so it's no longer a living person. What's living and what spreads is through the seed of Cain. That's what's living. You see what I mean? But both of these ways go, because Abel's blood speaks. Cain, life speaks. And it speaks depravity. This speaks righteousness. Isn't that an awesome thought? This is how it all happened. And let me just say this, okay, for any of those who were really hung up last week on predestination and election. Here's where we find the two streams. Here's where we find the two streams that God pulls from. The remnant flows through the spiritual seed. Amen? So that's food for thought. Food for thought. Yeah. Yeah.
I was wondering, if death just came into the world and Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel, as far as I know, really didn't know what death was.
Yeah.
Because it hadn't really happened. And he attacked the brother and then attacked, killed him.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really know if he had intended something, but it did happen. He did murder his brother.
Yeah.
That's fact.
Yeah.
But it's like.
It's hard to find innocence.
He didn't know what he was doing.
Well, it's hard to find innocence when the Gospels say this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That he was, don't be like him because he was of the evil one. Right? And he murdered his brother. And why did he murder? Because his own deeds were evil and his brother was righteous. So there is evil in his heart. So the intentions were evil, you know.
Do you think it's what Jesus said, if you hate your brother, you're a murderer?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Because he hated the evil.
He hated. So, Abel's way then is without the shedding of blood, there is no forgiveness of sins.